Hey everybody, it's PDubs. Thanks as always for hanging out upstairs with us and for checking out the channel. Arcade One Up earlier today revealed Marvel vs. Capcom 2, as well as we have some additional information regarding the Arcade One Up NFL Blitz cabinet that was leaked out. That's right, today was the very first episode of Arcade One Up finally doing their own official show on their channel, their own streaming show, and it's called That One Up Show. So guess what, guys? You are officially tuning in to the very first episode of That Other One Up Show, where we're going to be reacting to whatever Arcade One Up happens to reveal during these official broadcasts. So I'm kind of excited about doing this. I think it'll be kind of fun to do this. So taking a peek here, guys, real quick, let's start with NFL Blitz, right? So if you caught my last video, make sure you guys check out the last video on my channel. We did show you guys the leaked photo of the NFL Blitz arcade cabinet. Now, where did this photo come from? Well, it came from some sort of retailer listing, a listing provided to retailers from the manufacturers. And taking a look here at the description, we have some additional news or updates on this cabinet. As we scroll right here, it says NFL Blitz is a network-connected video game with online functionality. The arcade consists of physical hardware, connection to the internet. Now, here's what's interesting. They're using 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. They're not using Wi-Fi 5.0. They're using 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which enable, check this out, user to connect with other players over the internet. What does that mean? They say to connect with other players over the internet. I'm really hoping by connect, they mean online play. I'm really, really hoping that. I would be very, very disappointed if we find out by connect, it means that they only have the ability to, see leaderboards and high score tracking, record keeping, etc. They don't actually say play with other people, but they do say connect with other people over the internet. It's still not cut and dry. It's still kind of vague. Let's hope that it is online compatible for online gaming, co-op online gameplay. And then, of course, it's supported by back-end cloud services, yada, 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 game session synchronization, etc. And then there's your cabinet. So we got a little bit more information about this cabinet, and hopefully this information is current. Hopefully this information is accurate. You never know. This could have been something provided to retailers a long time ago, and things may have changed since then. But the big news, of course, is Arcade One Up did their first official YouTube show, and they did a pretty good job, I would say, in the YouTube show. You had Justin Wong on, you had Liv on, you had a couple other YouTubers, Mike of All Trades on, you also had B Kong was on, Console Kids was on. There were a lot of people on this particular broadcast, and sure enough, right when the broadcast went live, and they revealed Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is officially happening. Now, what we do know is this, is it's going to come with 8 games. Let's kind of zoom in here. You're going to get Marvel vs. Capcom 2 finally, and then all the games you've seen before on the other MVC cabinets, Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Children of the Atom, Mutant Apocalypse, Marvel Superheroes, and War of the Gems. So you're getting 8 games, and this cabinet will retail for $599 per John D on the show. And as you can see from the artwork package and everything, it's going to be a 3/4 scale cabinet. What's funny is it's in the Midway shape, not a Capcom shaped cabinet. But then again, I agree. I was watching one of my buddy Michael B's videos, and he mentioned that instead of calling this the Midway shape, maybe this is just the arcade One Up shape on their future releases moving forward. And that makes sense. If you think about it, all the first 2 generations of cabinets had that shark fin design, and it seems like this is the design they're going with on the majority of cabinets moving forward, unless it's something special like Tempest, Dragon's Lair, etc. So I think that prediction by Michael B makes sense. Obviously, the artwork looks great, control panel looks great. They did confirm it is going to have the BOE monitor. They did confirm that the speakers sound fantastic on this thing. It will have the light up marquee. It should have the better build quality because, let's be honest, although the Midway Mortal Kombat 30th cabinet, which I've reviewed, has a wonderful build quality to it, to the H panel and everything. Everything's solid, beautiful light up marquee. It has a crap monitor, but then again, guess what? You're going to get the BOEs in this as well. And also, it's going to be cross-play enabled. So if you already own the Marvel vs. Capcom original cabinet or the X-Men versus Street Fighter original cabinet, all of these games will be cross-play compatible, so you can play the owners who happen to buy Marvel vs. Capcom 2 if you decide not to get Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Although if you ask me, though, that sound you hear right now is probably, yep, that's the sound of about 3,000 original Marvel vs. Capcom cabinets being put on Facebook Marketplace and offer up as people look to sell those to upgrade to this one. And obviously they're at EVO, and what's interesting about EVO is, you know, this thing's going to get a lot of press, a lot of attention. You're going to see a lot of content about this cabinet, a lot of news articles, etc. Like I've said before, guys, this is a win for Arcade1Up. This is a title who way back in the day we never thought was possible. A lot of these titles that we never thought Arcade1Up would release, NFL Blitz, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and the list goes on and on. They continue to secure those licenses. So from a licensing standpoint and from a publishing standpoint, you got to tip your hat to Arcade1Up. This is a big win for them, in my opinion, in regards to this cabinet. Now, hopefully the cabinet will perform as good as it looks and as good as it sounds, because Justin Wong was on the show. Everyone knows who Justin Wong is in the fighting game community, and he said that during his quality assurance testing, there is some input lag and issues and bugs, but that's the whole point of testing. He says by the time the cabinet's released, a lot of those issues will be ironed out and hopefully non-existent. So let's hope that that happens. The last thing they want to do is release fighting game cabinets with really bad input delay, etc. They will be using rollback netcode for the online gaming and peer-to-peer as well. Costs you nothing as a person to buy this cabinet and play it online against other people for the online service. It's all built into the cost of the cabinet. So, but overall, this cabinet is going to start pre-orders September 8th, and then it's going to ship just a few weeks after. So some of us were thinking, myself included, that these cabinets were not going to be shipping until next year, that Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Time Crisis, and NFL Blitz would all be announced, pre-orders, but nothing would ship until maybe first quarter next year. Looks like Arcade1Up is going to surprise us. There must be some already on the way, on boats, etc., for them to say that they're going to have this thing ready to ship within the next 2 months. So that's exciting news as well. You're not going to have a long time to wait. I myself am kind of happy I sold my Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet and already, because you know, kind of suspected per the GameFly leaks that this was going to happen, and obviously use those funds to help pay for this new one. Because, I mean, I'll be honest, guys, although I suck at Street Fighter and I'm not great at these games, it's Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in an arcade form factor. I think it's one I can make room for and add to my collection. And I do kind of miss that original MVC cabinet. I sold it like a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that. So it's been a little bit. So it would be fun to have again and play again and all that kinds of stuff. Either way, my overall reaction is I think this cabinet is a win for Arcade1Up. And it's a lot of the information they provided today is all very, very positive about this cabinet in regards to the pricing, the build quality, the BOE monitor, good sound system, they promise. Yeah, you know, it's going to be in the midway shape, but let's just call it the Arcade1Up shape, because that's what it sounds like to me moving forward. And then it's going to be pre-orders, shipping, cross-play enabled, and all that kinds of stuff. So overall, my reaction is I thought they had a really good first episode of that 1UP show, and looking forward to reacting to future episodes. And you never know, maybe they'll have some shenanigans we'll call them out on in the future episodes. But on this first episode, I really didn't have any issues with it. I thought they did a pretty good job putting it together. They also had a couple funny bits, reading some funny comments and stuff. I'll have a link to it in the video description below. Go check it out. It'll be nice to see that they plan on doing this once a month, I believe. Once a month, they're going to be doing this kind of show, which, in my opinion, is a perfect amount. There's no reason to do it weekly. Have them do it once a month, etc., so we can get some quote-unquote official information from the official source and can react and respond to it accordingly. Let me know what you guys think about Marvel vs. Capcom 2 as well as the NFL Blitz leak. Make sure you check out my video from last night regarding that. If you enjoyed today's first episode of that other 1UP show, do me a favor, guys. Give me a thumbs up on the way out. And as always, my dudes, Thank you for subscribing.